Hey gang, Ronan here. Welcome on back to the Retrocade and another edition of Suckerpunch Sunday, where we hit the Wayback Machine and check out a classic fighting or fighting platform-based game from the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th generation. And for this week, because we spent so much time back in the early 80s and 90s exploring games from those genres and that time frame, I figured let's fast forward back to the 21st century and play a game that is certainly based on a franchise known to a great many of you, except me. We are going to play Super Dragon Ball Z, brought to you by Atari with a little help from Bandai Namco and Funimation, which came out in 2006 in Europe and the US. It was actually released in arcades in Japan just before Christmas 2005 and was ported to the PlayStation 2. Now, I have been watching anime for about as long, if not a little bit longer, than I've been playing video games, which is nigh on 40 years. And I will be the first one to tell you that of all the anime I have ever watched and all the things that I have ever loved about Japanese animation, Dragon Ball Z ain't one of them. I do not say that as a mean to denigrate or besmirch those of you who happen to like this particular anime. It's simply not my particular cup of tea. And I know the first question you're asking me is, Ronan, hang on a minute. 3 weeks ago, you did a Sucker Punch Sunday where we went over playing Fist of the North Star, which is not much different than Dragon Ball Z. It is and it isn't, I grant you. But I happened to find Hokuto no Ken first, and then happened to realize that everybody else in the world found Dragon Ball Z later, primarily because of what is the now defunct, I found this out as of August 1st, it's no longer around, Cartoon Network, thanks to Toonami. But I'm going to give this game a go anyway. 1, because it's a fighting game, and 2, it capitalizes on the craze that was humongously prevalent in the early part of the 21st century for American audiences to devour as much anime as they could. And as an anime fan in general, few things made me happier than to see anime grow and get more of a foothold in the US after having spent so long being such a very, very small thing that only a few of us really knew about. So, I know the basic premise of Dragon Ball. I know it's all centered around Goku and his son Gohan. I find it interesting that Goku isn't in this first set of characters you can choose from. But I'm going to pick Vegeta because why not? I mean, I don't have a particular dog in this fight, but we're going to fight Gohan first. So, how this game is broken down is that there are the original mode, which I'm going to play here over the course of the next about a half an hour or so. You can play Z Survivor mode, you can do training mode, you can do versus one-on-one, you can do a summon battle, and you can customize your fighting. And as you can see, it is very much done in the anime style, because there would be no way they could do this game without it, of Akira Toriyama's iconic character designs. And if that name sounds familiar to you outside of Dragon Ball Z, it should, because he also created the character art for the Dragon Quest series, what we knew colloquially in the US in the mid to late 80s as Dragon Warrior. Now, out the gate, I will say I like how you get the cell-style animation. It is very quick, although I will tell you, on this emulator, and I am using PCSX2 version 1.6, which is the last version that came out, when I ran my original tests on this game to see which one I could play, I did have to go through and do a whole heap and heck of a lot of upgrades and changing around of the system in order to make it run this well. You whiff. The fact that Vegeta could just stand there in mid-air like that, I'm not sure about. You hit the circle button and that allows you to jump and hover. If you press the X and square button, that allows you to do a little sprint burst. And then it's like most fighting games. It's a combination of utilizing the joystick to be able to pull certain moves off. I might as well. We'll save it. And then using the corresponding buttons on the right side of the gamepad. Now, they did try to keep this in as close a line of the original manga as possible, which means the backgrounds, obviously the character styles, the moves, all of that stuff. Even the voices they've tried to keep consistent with the anime.
Wow, you're stronger than I thought.
And as far as reception goes, this game was actually met with a considerable amount of meh. The Metacritic score is only 72% out of 100. Game Rankings has it a little bit higher. It's just over 74%. It's like 74.4. And what Bandai said that they were trying to do when they created this game was they were trying to get away from what was originally the fighting series for Dragon Ball, which was called Dragon Ball Z Budokai. They did 3 different variations of that game. Ouch, as Vegeta just took one right in the chin. And I still knocked Android 18 out.
Round 2, fight!
And what they were looking to do with this game is go back to the more traditional fighting game than as was still popular at the time with Capcom and SNK and more the 90s style fighters. Many of whom I've already showed on this channel.
Here's a bonus.
Ow! Face plant. So if you use the L1 button, that gives you the chance to run a grab attack. As she picks me up and slams me back into the dirt. Well, 2 can play at that game. Well, if I can pull this off and take her down, this will be a heck of a comeback. Oh, and I got her! With no life to speak of on the bar, I managed to put Android 18 down. So as far as sales go, this game sold just over 95,000 units in its first week of release in Japan, setting at number 2 overall only to Nintendo's new Super Mario Bros., which sold a considerably loftier 370,000 copies.
Round 1, fight!
On the whole, Super Dragon Ball Z ended up selling just under 400,000 copies itself, so it was a modest success at best.
Where are you going?
Ow. The fact that I'm sitting here in midair and I'm getting picked off, that's going to take some getting used to.
Where are you going?
In the meantime, I get face planted yet again.
Round 2, fight!
Now, because I am not as familiar with this anime as most people, I will tell you that the only time I've ever watched it is I have an old friend of mine, a year ago when I was staying with them, introduced me to a kind of a comedic dub of Dragon Ball Z that you can find on YouTube. It's not hard to get a hold of. And if I remember right, it is of the first, I want to say 100 episodes or so of this series. It goes everything through the Android series. We were introduced to Trunks and we meet Vegeta and all that stuff. It's like absolutely wasted here.
Darn it!
And they try to emulate the same character voices, except Goku
Round 1.
in
Fight!
the comedicized version of Dragon Ball Z is an utter twit. Meanwhile, Android 17 here is absolutely wiping the floor with us. He's just almost down to nothing, and I think it only hit us like 3 times. I wish I really knew how to block, because he seems to be blocking a lot better than I was.
Fight! Over here!
Yeah, I like that. You hit R2 and he gives you essentially a spitting drop kick. But we're still getting taken behind the proverbial woodshed.
Energy field!
Oh, good night. And Vegeta is toast.
Darn it!
So let's try somebody else, shall we? Oh, so we do have Goku. He just happens to have in his pick, he's in Saiyan mode. Alright, let's try Trunks. I'll go for Trunks because he has a sword, and I always like characters with swords.
You're not even worth my time.
Now, in order to put this project together, it was created by Noritaka Funamizu, who is a former Capcom game designer who had a hand in a lot of their fighting games. So it stands to reason that if you're going to be able to put together a game like this, you want somebody who has the capacity to put together some good mechanics.
Over here!
Whoa.
Where are you going?
Ow. Alright, we were able to put him down. For a minute there I was thinking, okay, is he going to pull a comeback on us? But not quite. The moves so far have been fairly repetitive. I mean, what you expect in a fighting game, there's only so many moves you can pull off. Oh, just like that, we get put down. So now,
Final round! Fight!
it's one each. Okay, what? So that little Piccolo guy didn't help me at all.
Where are you going?
And instead, it set me up for getting wiped out if I'm not careful. Headbutt. Flying headbutt. So we go and attack him, and I think what he ended up doing was smacking me upside the chin, and that was it. I lost. So let's try this one more time. So some of the other special features you can get in this, you get fireball motions to provide special move inputs. You get dialer combos, which were similar to what I guess you saw in Mortal Kombat 3 and in the Tekken series. Although how to be able to pull those off, I have no idea.
More. I want more.
Well, you want more, you just got it. That was a fairly authoritative beatdown I put on him right there. So I tried the flying knee and I didn't get him with it. Instead, he hit me with a flying headbutt. Okay, I like that flare slash I got off the sword.
Where are you going? I can't lose now.
Cool, we took him down.
I won't let my future repeat itself.
So this game has 18 playable characters you can utilize. And as you saw, part of the environment can be used to, or can get taken down during the fight. So like all these columns and these trees, you can knock them down if you want. So now I think this is Android 16 we get to fight.
Round one, fight!
I will give Akira Toriyama full credit for what he created, because as an artist and as a creator, to build an anime that spanned as many different storylines as Dragon Ball Z did, and that's not including the original Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball GT. As I get thoroughly pasted.
Fight!
You know, Toriyama, especially with having full control over his stories and everything else, it's a real rarity. You know, most of the anime that are among my favorites, and I grew up in the classic Super Robot era of the 70s and early 80s. And also watching anime like Space Battleship Yamato and Macross, which eventually was ported over into the US as Robotech.
Final round!
Even those anime, the overall scale of them was not as big as what Toriyama has done with Dragon Ball. The closest comparable thing I can think of, really, is a truly epic anime called Legend of Galactic Heroes, which my sister once tried to introduce me to, and it is nothing short of gargantuan in scope. If I remember right, the entire anime spans, I want to say close to 20 years.
I won't let my future repeat itself.
If you know and you've watched that anime, by all means, let me know down in the comments. And also let me know if it's one that's really, if it's truly worth watching. So now we get to fight Goku. This should be interesting.
Let's see what you learned in training. Round one, fight!
I have been on the receiving end of that sort of spin throw before, and I will tell you, ouch. Oof. And of course, Goku wipes the floor with us, because why not? He's Goku. This is like playing Street Fighter and having Ryu just completely take us behind the woodshed. The verticality of this is interesting. Oh! It's like absolutely pasted with that uber fireball. Oh, now he's gone Super Saiyan. This ain't good.
No, it can't be.
Well, it is, because we got totally wiped out by Super Saiyan Goku, Trunks. I don't know what else to tell you. So I could go with Cell, I could go with Krillin, and I remember watching the Lampoon version of Dragon Ball Z. Krillin, if I remember right, Krillin was the one he just always ends up getting killed in that version of it. So we'll try Piccolo. And we've got about 8 minutes to go in this one, so we'll try and get by Goku one more time.
This should be fun.
Round one, fight!
Now there is one consistency in this game, or at least when you're playing this version of it. Oh, jeez. Alright, so Piccolo is like Dawson in that he, except he's also got a huge kick me sign. I got him, I think I hit Goku once in that. So if I can get by Goku, the next opponent I will face is Frieza. And then the 7th opponent is always Cell. So, and it's taking me almost 25 minutes to figure out that the X button is the block. Which is so counterintuitive to what I have always known in anime games to be, or in fighting games to be, rather. Oh. Because if you want to block, you're always moving backwards. Or it's usually a shoulder button. It's either your L1 or your R1. It's not X. X is usually your light attack. It's not block.
Round one, fight!
Oh. He's got a Dragon Punch. And now he's on Super Saiyan again, which means I am in serious trouble. It looks like if you can stop Goku from going Super Saiyan, then you might have a chance, but...
Take this! Take this!
Okay, I'll give him the headbutt again. Ooh. And we are knocked out as we get the spinning throw into the rock.
Round 2. Fight!
Oh. Trying to grab him, just even that is not getting me anywhere. And we are dead again. Alright, so we got about 4 minutes. Let's try with one more character and see if we can take down Goku. Who are we gonna go with? I could go with Frieza. Majin Buu, no. Try Trunks. We'll go back to Vegeta. Vegeta always figured he was better than Goku anyway. So maybe he has the ego necessary to take him down.
Let's see what you've learned in training. Round 1. Fight!
Best way to fight. Arms down, face presented. There we go. Come up, throw him down. Oh. And instead of walking an uppercut, and like that, I'm down. It does not surprise me in the slightest that Goku is this hard. But because we're having to think in 3 dimensions here, it is really disconcerting. I think he just bashed me right through the wall. Super Fireball, because I'm trying to grab him and he won't go down. Can I get it here? We got 19 seconds to knock him down. That should do it. Yep. And he flings us into the ground one more time. And that is that. So, we're at 30 minutes, so I think we are going to call it good here. But, that, everybody, in a nutshell, is Super Dragon Ball Z for the PS2 from 2006, as brought to you by Bandai Namco, Atari, and Funimation. Now we get to the usual nitty-gritty. Is it a good game? If you like Dragon Ball Z, I could see you having a tremendously good time with it. I will say I think it's a good game insofar that it's different than a conventional fighting game, specifically because of the 3-dimensionality that is brought into it. In most fighting games, even as they made the transition from 2D to 3D, they didn't really put in that extra layer of verticality that is in this game. If I give myself more time and give myself more practice with it, do I think I can get better at it? Most likely. But is it a game that I'd be inclined to play more often? Honestly, probably not, again, because I'm not a Dragon Ball Z fan. If you are, this may be right up your street, and most likely you already played it before. I do like the cell shading style of it. I like that they do try to incorporate as much of the visuals that make Dragon Ball Z into it, and don't try to cram a square peg into a round hole. So, you know, and again, it's got various modes to it. You can try the Z Survivor mode, you can try training mode, you can customize it to do your own stuff with it. So it seems like Bandai Namco tried to incorporate as much different aspects of a fighting game into something that fans of this series would really like. So in that regard, I can't say it's a bad game, and I can't say it's a game that has particularly aged badly either, even though it's now almost 20 years old. You know, even the intro, the animation style still is pretty crisp, and it looks pretty modern by even today's standards if you were to play it on a PS4 or a PS5. So, you know, give it a whirl. Let me know what you think about it. If you've played it before and you know the ins and outs of it and things that I don't, drop me a line and let me know. You know, it's one of those that I think, among the fighting games I've played in the last couple of months, honestly, it's one of the better ones, but it's one that I would definitely have to grow into. And we'll leave it there. So, if you've enjoyed this, and I do hope you have, best way you can show is hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Ring the bell to be notified of the latest content. Remember, we also have our ongoing playthrough of the original Diablo from 1998 as ported onto the PS1. We're almost through with that playthrough now. We'll have new episodes coming up again on Monday. We air those Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I think we should run through at least the next week, if not two, and then that one will be wrapped up. I already have plans for my next playthrough, but as usual, I'll take a little bit of a breather between, just to kind of get my batteries recharged a little bit. So, also be sure to follow us on Instagram and Threads at Ronan's Retrocade. Help spread the word about us so we can get our goal of 100 subscribers as soon as we can. That way we unlock the YouTube customization algorithm. We can make this channel bigger and better. And as always, if there's a game you would like to see us feature from the Nintendo Entertainment System, the Super Nintendo, Sega Master System, Sega Genesis, or Mega Drive, SNK Neo-Geo, Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1, or PlayStation 2, leave it in the comments below. Drop me a line on Threads. Give me any game from those consoles that you guys want. And as always, my name is Ronan. It's been great to spend this Sunday with you. Be safe, be well, stay cool out there, everybody. It's still really hot in the world. Happy gaming, and we will talk to you again tomorrow as we carry on with our playthrough of the original Diablo. Bye!